1st century BCE, the northern Korean peninsula and southern Manchuria were defined by severe frozen winters. To survive these months, the people living here needed food with a high caloric density. The ancient Yamek tribes secured those calories by hunting large game, primarily wild boar, which were capable of surviving the harsh northern climate. When the hunters returned from the frozen wilderness, the community gathered inside their villages, bringing the meat to indoor cooking hearths. These kitchens were built around the agungi, large stone hearths supporting heavy iron pots. These hearths provided the primary heat source for the home, serving as a high-temperature cooking surface. Attached to these kitchens were cool storage chambers. Here, massive cuts of freshly hunted boar hung from iron hooks, preserved by the low ambient temperature. This environment of winter survival led to the development of Maekjeok. It was a specific method of preparation that established the technical lineage of modern Korean barbecue. Preparing wild boar presents a physical challenge. The meat of these animals is dense, held together by thick collagen sheaths and rigid muscle fibers that are difficult to chew if cooked using standard methods. The ancient cooks addressed this with mechanical force. They took wooden mallets and pounded the meat, physically fracturing the tough, dense fibers. They followed this by scoring the surface with a knife. These microgrooves increased the surface area of the cut, allowing for more points of contact with heat and seasoning. This physical labor restructured the boar muscle. The severed fibers and flattened tissue created a receptive internal network, ready to capture and hold the coming marinade. The meat was then submerged in a thick paste. This was a primitive fermented soybean mixture, the direct ancestor to the doenjang used today. The cooks combined the fermenting beans with coarse salt, sweet grain syrup, local alliums, and rice wine to create a high-viscosity marinade. Once applied, a chemical reaction began. Salt drew out moisture, while active enzymes dissolved the rigid collagen bands. As the tissue relaxed, the muscle matrix expanded, reabsorbing the savory liquid. This replaced gamey odors with a clean, seasoned profile. This technique of pre-seasoning meat distinguished the Maek people from neighboring cultures, who generally roasted meat plain and used dipping sauces only after the cooking was finished. However, the marinade was vulnerable to heat. The grain syrup and fermented proteins had a low burning threshold. Direct contact with flames would turn the exterior to bitter ash before the interior was cooked. The ancient solution was spatial heat management. The cook suspended the roast on a spit at least 10 centimeters above the glowing wood and charcoal embers. At this distance, the gentle, radiating heat cooked the interior slowly. The exterior was able to caramelize and brown safely without catching fire. As the roast heated, liquid fat dripped from the spit. When these drops hit the hot coals, they vaporized into smoke, which then rose to coat the meat in a wood-fired aroma. This careful positioning turned a basic meal into a specific application of culinary logic, balancing sweet marinades against an open fire. When pulled from the hearth, the maekjeok possessed a glistening golden brown crust and a deep smokiness from the vaporized fat and charcoal. The community shared the meal together, sitting on folding chairs and carving thick slices directly from the spit onto wooden platters. Against the backdrop of a northern winter, this savory, calorie-heavy meal provided the physical warmth and energy required to endure the season. The lineage of this dish is well documented. Maekjeok survived the meat restrictions of the Buddhist era, adapted during the Goguryeo period, and eventually entered Joseon palaces as no biryani, the final step before becoming modern bulgogi. The engineering developed by these first-century hunters remains the functional core of Korean barbecue. By navigating the chemical and thermal limits of their environment, they established a preparation style that has persisted for over 2,000 years. In the first